South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, all kinds of foreign policy experience. Senator, you heard Congressman Smith. What do you say?
Well, I agree with a lot of what Adam said. I went to Saudi Arabia April of last year to try to build on the Abraham Accords. You had 6 Arab nations recognize Israel under President Trump's watch. I've been trying to work with President Biden to have Saudi Arabia recognize Israel, normalize. That would end the Arab-Israeli conflict. That would isolate Iran. And Adam's right. October 7th was designed to stop that effort. We're literally running out of time. I'll be going back to the region very soon. Nothing would please me more than to help President Biden to get an agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel on his watch, and we're running out of time. But President Trump, I think, would be supportive of that. But the one thing we've lost is deterrence. Iran is running wild. Biden gave the Iranians $80 billion in sanctions relief, and we're reaping the results of that bad decision.
Speaking of which, the former president talking about the assassination attempts and the threats that he's been briefed on by Iran to kill him. Take a listen today.
There have been 2 assassination attempts on my life that we know of, and they may or may not involve, but possibly do, Iran. If I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens.
Is the administration doing enough when it comes to Iran?
Clearly not. The Iranians have been engaged in an effort to kill Pompeo, Brian Hook. They all have security, including John Bolton. There's evidence today. We had a briefing with every member of the United States Senate by the DNI and the FBI director and others about the threat level regarding our election. It's coming from Russia, it's coming from China, but the threat level coming from Iran is different. Adam said something I would contest. They've done nothing after Soleimani was taken out by Trump. No, they have. They've been trying to kill Trump officials. I came away from that briefing beyond unnerved at the efforts of the Iranian government to kill former Trump officials and to assassinate President Trump. No, the Biden-Harris administration is not doing enough. There are legitimate, well-organized efforts to kill the Republican nominee by the government of Iran that's been reported, and they go wide and deep. So I would encourage President Biden to do something like President Trump indicated. Tell Iran, if you do that, all bets are off.
Last thing, I only have a few seconds here. Obviously, Iran's proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, are all getting funded by Iran. There's word that a ceasefire may come with Hezbollah between Israel and Hezbollah tonight. What's next here?
Well, I think Iran's, they love what's going on. Israel's fighting Hezbollah in the north. They're still involved in Gaza. What I would tell Iran, if I were Israel, you hit us from Hezbollah, you attack. We're coming after oil refiners in Iran. The root of all evil is the Iranians. If there's any credible attack against us here, cyber or otherwise, you keep coming after President Trump, we're going to blow up all your oil refineries. Until you make it real to them, they're going to keep doing this. They have to believe that we're serious about hurting them.
Senator Graham, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.